There will be spoilers ahead for the entire history of You, White Christmas, Archangel, and Rachel, Jack, and Ashley too. The Willow Grain, also known as the Grain, is a neural implant that is surgically placed behind the ear. The Grain records every moment of your life and instantly makes each memory ready for playback. The Grain received its name because it's around the size of a grain of rice. The memory playback feature is called a redo. A redo allows you to replay any moment recorded by the Grain. You're able to play, pause, fast forward, and rewind your memories. The redos can be played through your pupils or on a TV screen. You can conveniently scroll through the moments of your life with this user-friendly menu. The series production designer Joe Collins talked about the design of this menu, saying, "I wanted the Grain app to look as if your life was stored in the rings of a tree. As it grew and you got older, your rings increased. In order to board a flight, you have to use your Grain to provide security with a redo of the time spent before your arrival." In Liam's case, he had to play a redo of his entire week. The scanner he shows the redo on utilizes facial recognition software that identifies anyone and everyone in your redo. With this amazing policy, your privacy is compromised, as well as the privacy of everyone you interacted with for that day, week, or however long security wants to look back. Liam also has to do an exhaustive redo with personnel at the firm, so your employers or potential employers get to see a much larger archive of your memories. As they say, they're going to review Liam's entire quarter. You are also restricted by how many memories you delete. If you remove a bunch of recordings from your Grain, you may surpass the limitations set by your employer, resulting in you failing the interview process, or losing your job if you're already employed. Next, we have the zoom feature, allowing you to zoom into any area of your redo in seemingly lossless quality. With this feature, users can become fixated on small, insignificant details, like how Jeff was obsessing over a frayed carpet. You can also use the zoom to examine people's facial expressions and find things you weren't supposed to see, like a tick on a document or your wife making out with Jonas. If you're out of range and can't hear your friends, loved ones, or Jonas having a conversation, you can access a redo, zoom in, and utilize the lip reading feature, so an AI can interpret what they're saying. All of this is done by using a remote control referred to as the Pebble. When discussing the design of the Pebble, Joe Collins said, "One of the key flavors was to give everything a texture. If you look at most shots, you'll see stone with wood, with metal, with organic material, to take everything away from science fiction. The Pebble works like a TV remote, giving you the ability to navigate through the menus and scan through your memories with ease. The Pebble is also used to pay for services like taxis. In White Christmas, they ended up using the Pebble again, as we see characters like Joe and Beth use the Pebble to access their Zedis. The show's creator Charlie Brooker explained why they reused the device in this episode, saying at one point, "We tried to reinvent the interface device and went through different variants. But no matter what we did, it wasn't as good as the gizmo we had in the entire history of You. So we decided to just use that." Zedis and the Grain share a lot of similarities, like the magnify feature that allows you to zoom into something in real time. But these two devices also have a lot of differences. Zedis don't have endless recording or the memory storage to back it up. Although Zedis do have a camera for pictures and live streaming, they operate more like smartphones. Matt mentions that you can't even remove the Zedis, while the Grain can be taken out, as we watch Liam remove his own Grain, and Hallam had hers taken from her when she was gouged. But we'll talk more about Zedis in another video. When someone accesses the Grain's interface or plays a redo, their eyes become milked out, as the images are replayed in their pupils. The original idea was to have their memories play back only on TV screens, until Charlie Brooker concluded that it would make more sense if they could watch the footage through their eyes if their eyes are already doing the recording. In the Willow Grain's commercial we listened to at the beginning of the entire history of You, and in Rachel and Jack's room in Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2, the narrator mentions live, breathe, smell, implying that you can experience other senses while watching your redo, to better help you relive that moment, referring to this upgrade as full spectrum memory. Liam and Fee take advantage of full spectrum memory during sex, as they watch older, hotter redos of themselves. Charlie Brooker wanted to keep the story of the entire history of You contained within a domestic bubble, but had other ideas for how things like copyright issues would arise when people go to the cinema. Would they be able to record the movie, movie? Or would the grain automatically turn off when they entered the theater? At the dinner table, Hallam claimed that her sight held on fine after being gouged, implying that if someone forcibly removes your grain, there is a possibility that you will go blind. At the end of the entire history of you, Liam removes his grain, and then the episode cuts to black. This could be telling us that Liam blinded himself at the end of the episode. In the world of the entire history of you, there's discrimination against people who don't have a grain. When Liam is on his drunken rampage and begins to fight Jonas, Hallam calls the police. Hallam says she is witnessing an assault, but also claims, "I don't have a grain feed to show you. I don't have a grain." Then the operator immediately hangs up on her. The police may not want to work on a case if the people involved don't have a full recording of what happened, because they live in a world where they can watch an assault unfold objectively if someone with a grain witnessed it. Going back to the dinner table, Lucy mentioned that Hallam didn't have a grain, and everyone was shocked, because they couldn't believe that someone in their society could be without a grain, especially someone within their circle. Even Fee's infant child had a grain, the most 1984 baby monitor ever. They got their kid a neural implant to monitor their kid's activity at an even younger age than Sarah from Archangel. The kids they are raising have no choice when it comes to getting the grain. And unlike Archangel, the implant is widely accepted and has become a normality, so not having a grain can negatively affect your social reputation, and to some people, you're automatically perceived as untrustworthy. Colleen mentions that going grainless is huge with hookers, so going grainless is mainly associated with criminals, giving us another reason as to why the operator hung up on Hallam. Going grainless most likely means that you can't access different forms of transportation like taxis or flights, because you don't have the pebble to pay for the taxi, and you don't have a redo to show security at the airport. You also don't have a redo to show your employers, so it may be very difficult to find a well-paying job. Colleen, who works in grain development, claims you know half the organic memories you have are junk, just not trustworthy. However, we see that redos are unreliable as well. You can spot small inconsistencies when Liam and Fee play back their memories. On their TV screen, Fee plays a redo of Liam saying that she's the B word. In the redo, Liam appears more aggressive and is pointing at Fee with his index finger, but in reality, he was more calm when he said it, and his hand was laid out flat when he gestured towards her. One of the interviewers at the firm says to Liam, "Look, we really hope to look forward to seeing you again," when saying this very confusing sentence. The man is phony in real life, but is less disingenuous in the redo. To me, the worst feature the grain has to offer is how it takes away your ability to forget and move on, and I think we're all better off without it.